Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Fred McDaniels.
And I'm Coach Rick Youngblood, back in the building on a Friday night. Coach DATV, what's been going on?
Hey, man, I don't know. I just been sitting home.
Yeah, me too. You know, this
it's funny, right?
Ain't been fun. Ain't no working.
I know.
I got a lot done off the honey-do list.
I bet you did, man. And it seemed like, it's like you want these vacations when you're at work, and then when they give you one, only thing that's different is that you ain't getting paid, so it don't feel like no vacation. No, I tell you that.
It sure don't. So,
but
hey, we still living. We still here.
That's it. So. God is still good, man.
That's good. So I'm all right.
That's great, man. So we're just gonna kick into our program because we got a special guest in the house with us today. So we're gonna talk a bit about our youth mentor classes, Rick. So go ahead and give the people a little bit what we do.
Yes, we got our youth mentor class that we successfully hold, every month. So it's big to be able to get into those classes, to have your kids come out and get mentored by those that are in every profession. We have, doctors, lawyers, accountants, big brothers, little brothers. We have people from all walks of life that are there to mentor those educators, teachers, professors, that, to give the kids, outlooks on life and talk to things that they want to hear about and know about, and talk to some who came from their position and from where they were in life and turned out to be just fine. And give the kids that confidence that no matter what your circumstances are, that you can be whatever you want to be if you put your mind and hard work in it, and you can be whatever you want. It doesn't matter where you start up, it just matter where you end up at. That's what's all important. So if you bring your kids out to those, please go online and sign up at www.ohiovalleyelite.com and sign your kids up for the youth mentoring class, which will be held. The next one will be Friday, November 14th, 5 to 7 p.m. That's again Friday, November 14th, 5 to 7 p.m. So looking forward to seeing you guys out, and let's pack the room.
Telling you, man, it is a great program. Our last speaker we had, finance, was really good. So the kids are coming in shortly, but I just want to get a little bit more on our radar. But so parents, take advantage of that. That's what we're offering at Ohio Valley Elite Football Club. And then we got also Parents Time Away. So Rick, tell us a little bit about our Parents Time Away.
Parents Time Away is big for those of us that, got those sports-oriented kids that big in sports. They're in AAU, whatever sport it is, basketball, baseball, and those kids that we usually travel around with, and we so into our kids that we kind of forget about, each other, while the kids are doing their sports. And then once we've done that for years, Coach, and then the kids grow up and go off to college or wherever, and then now we're looking at each other like, what do we do? Because we're so used to being in everything that they do and keeping us busy. But this is a chance for you to get away. And don't worry about where your kids are, because they'll be taken very, very good care of at our program called Parents Time Away. If you just want to get away and go do some shopping, or you and your significant other or boyfriend or whatever want to go have dinner, y'all want to go out dancing, whatever you want to do for those 4 hours, and you want to just find a way to get away and drop your kids off and just take a deep breath. That's what we're there for, to entertain the kids. They can play games, they can read books, they can be on the computer, they can watch TV, whatever they need to do while you just go and enjoy each other and come back and get them. So go on again to sign up for this Parents Time Away on Friday, November 14th, and Saturday, November 15th, 2 to 6 p.m. Register at www.ohiovalleyelite.com or naabwalker@gmail.com. Looking forward to seeing all you guys at the center.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like we said, a lot of people is coming through, but I keep repeating myself. It's a program for you parents to come and drop your kids off and just go out and have fun. You know what I mean? I just wish that my parents, or I had that when I was younger. You know what I mean? But this is what we're offering, so just come out and use us, because we're there for you and for your kids.
So
we're going to go ahead and take our break right now. Gym City Sports Network. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Fred McDaniels.
And I'm Coach Rick Youngblood, back in the building on Friday night, Coach.
I'm telling you, man, we do got a special guest in the house, and his story is very interesting, I'm telling you. Because, like I said, just reading over his notes and things like that, did not know that this was going on out there. So I'm glad that he's here with us, and he's going to share his story with us. So go ahead, Rick, and introduce
Well,
the
good.
legend.
Well, we're glad to have a special guest like this in our building that's reading over his bio, that's done a lot of interesting things, and with his background, and being a chemical engineer and working for Procter and Gamble, to developing over-the-counter drugs, just such an interesting guy, and now being the commissioner of the Miami Valley Roy Hobbs Baseball League. So please join us out there, guests, and welcome him, Mr. Tom Huetter, as our special guest tonight.
Legend.
The legend.
The legend.
Thank you very much.
How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Glad to be here.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm going to start off with I want you to tell people about you, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, and how, you've been doing things. And then we'll get into the deeper stuff.
Okay. Baseball stuff or just overall background?
Just go over background, how
Right.
you.
So engineer by training.
Okay.
Worked for P&G, as you mentioned. Developed a lot of new products like NyQuil, DayQuil, Crest Tartar Control. Those I did a lot of formulation work, so I did the formulation on those. So a lot of fun. But I've been retired now for a while. Got back into baseball really 1991. My wife purchased the trip to Dream Week, the Reds Dream Week. Up to that point, I had been playing softball. So went down to Florida, played with some of the old Reds and so forth. A lot of fun. Guy said, when we get back home, we ought to keep playing. So we're doing pickup games and so forth. That turned into a traveling team. Leagues were formed, and now we've got Miami Valley Roy Hobbs, which has been around 20, maybe 25 years. We're up to 20 teams.
Oh.
Ranging from our youngest league is a 40 and over. Technically, it's 38 and over, and we have a 50 and over, a 60 over, and we just started a 65 and over division.
Wow.
So if guys want to keep playing ball, they can. We have guys well into their 70s still playing.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Wow, that is amazing. So we're playing. This is just your fast pitch, hard baseball.
It's baseball.
It's baseball.
That's what
not
people
the
say.
softball.
They say, it's softball. No, it's hardball.
It's hardball. It's
Wow.
baseball. That's very, very interesting. And like I said, I see here that you did play baseball for 1 year in high school, and then you went off to do your college thing and be in chemical engineering and working with Procter & Gamble and develop some interesting stuff, like I said, being in the formulation. And then you got back into baseball. Where did that drive, that energy comes from? That I want to get back into this. Is there something in me?
I was playing softball, and a lot of guys, you get into softball, and it's more about drinking with the guys. And it's
Right.
like, I love the game, want to play the game. And then when my wife actually heard about this Dream Week thing, it's like, whoa, there's an opportunity to play hardball again. And so there was no looking back at that point. Once you get back into hardball and feeling that ball off the bat, it's like, I'm not going back to softball. So, I've always loved the game. The interesting thing about high school, I played 1 year and actually didn't play. I was a freshman. I made the JV team. I was very proud of that. Sat on the bench, didn't play a single inning. And I said, why am I doing this? So I played some summer ball, and then when I went off to college, intramurals, and moved to Cincinnati, again, more softball. Before then, I got back and finally into hardball. And I've been playing hardball, so it's been over 30 years again.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, what are the requirements to play in this in WVRH league?
Miami Valley Roy Hobbs, it's just age. So you have to be at least 38 to play in the 40 and over league, and then, like I said, you can be as old as you want. And we have guys who are, say, in their 60s, but who are still very talented. They play down in the 40s. You can play in multiple age groups. We play about 15 games a season. We start in mid-April and go into maybe September. We'll have a postseason tournament, so forth. So, in fact, we just did finish up. Our 65s run a little bit later just because we can't get fields. The 65s just did finish up a couple weeks ago. So, like I said, it's starting mid-April, and we went into early part of October.
Wow, that's
And
pretty good.
Then a lot of guys go to Florida in November. The Roy Hobbs organization is a national organization for senior baseball, and they have what they call a World Series in Fort Myers, Florida, every November. In fact, I think it might have started this week for the young guys, so the 35 and over. Then next week is 45 and over and so forth. So we play in early November. I'm actually playing 70 and over now. So I'm 71.
God bless.
So
you look good,
yeah.
sir. You look
So
good, sir.
I play 70 and over, and we play in November. You play for a week. You play basically one game a day, and then when you get into Friday, they seed you, and you play basically a 1-and-out tournament. So you can play up to 9 games in 7 days, which is tough on a 70-year-old.
Yeah, that's a lot of baseball in,
There's
in
a
a
lot of
week.
baseball.
Wow, that's a lot of baseball in a week. But
Got to have a lot of pitching.
Yes, and you have to have a lot of love for it. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So, because I know the body aches now, and I just turned 59. My body is killing me. So I could just imagine y'all. But I would have loved to be out doing activities and basketball again and things like that. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, the game motivates me to stay in shape. I mean, it's a year-round thing. I mean,
Right.
I'm lifting weights, I'm running, going to the batting cages basically all year round. So that's one nice thing about playing.
Right.
maybe you can get into baseball too, coach, and join the league and stay in shape.
There you
You
go.
know, get on the
Go to the batting cage. If you can hit 70 miles an hour,
there you
you're
go.
good.
You can hit that. Can you hit that, coach?
No, I don't think I can hit it now. I'll try because I always try something, but I don't think I think I'm gonna stay retired. Still do what I'm doing right now. Go out there and interview the vets. You know what I mean, and the legends. You know, let them tell us their stories. You know.
Well, hey, I mean, you can do that too, but you might enjoy, swinging the bat. or
Well,
something. Maybe
that's a
get
little
into
bit more
that.
your style because I know you still active. You still run 5-6 miles in the mornings.
Got to
And,
stay in shape.
you know, yeah.
Got to stay in
yeah.
shape. Don't feel right if you
Yeah.
didn't.
I do like that. That's in shape. I'm moving, right?
No.
Okay.
I need to get you to moving all of this at the same time. We need you moving all of that, coach. But yeah, back to that's very interesting. I never didn't until I read this. I never heard about the seniors could play baseball. That you could play baseball that long.
We really need to do a little bit more marketing for the league. I mean, we do have a website, and we had a marketing program a couple of years ago, but it's a matter of getting the word out. Now, there are other leagues. I know that there's a league in Dayton. I think it's 18 and over, so that's the young guys. But Cincinnati has a 25 and over league called the Cincinnati Adult Baseball League, and that's a very big league. There's 20-plus teams.
Oh.
And then there's a league in the east side of Cincinnati called the Anderson League, and they have 10 teams over, and that's 35 and over. So there are options, and we have guys that play both, or all three.
Oh wow!
A lot of baseball. Some guys just will play every day, every night you can.
Wow! Yeah. I mean, if you get into it, baseball is fun. Once you get into the sport, it's fun. So you
And,
enjoy playing.
It's something to do. You know what I mean? It's not just like staying home. You can get out on the weekends. You can hang out with your friends. Do the wives go out and anticipate things like? See, that's a family thing. So.
And we go to Florida.
That's awesome.
I mean, a lot of the wives go along, and it's vacation basically.
Yeah.
Whether they come to the games or not.
Right.
Well, they're like, we in Florida, you go
Right.
to the game. We in Florida, you go to the game.
We're going to
gonna
the
do something.
beach,
We're gonna be at the beach, and we'll be back later. We'll meet up later. But that's amazing. So how did you end up becoming the commissioner?
I was volunteered 9 years ago, and I thought, oh, what the heck. And at that point, I think the league was just one age group and maybe, 10 teams. So it was a little bit easier job. Now that we've grown, it's become harder and harder. But 9 years now, I've been with it. And like I said, now we have the 4 age groups. So it becomes a lot more difficult. Like the scheduling becomes really difficult. It's like there aren't enough days of the week to get all these games in and fields available. So, but I have some guys that work with me on schedules, and we have an umpire coordinator that helps us with umpires. We have a website guy, I have a treasurer. So I have a lot of help.
Oh, that's good.
But it's a lot of work. I think about it constantly because it's a lot of details. Like, do we have a field, or do we have umps for every game? And there's hundreds of games every season.
So are you like the commissioners that we watch, and like the NBA commissioners that you have games over? So when you are not playing, you go watch your other games,
No.
sit and watch.
He said no.
I got plenty of things to do. And I'm playing in the 16 over and 65 and over. So that's enough. That's probably 25, 30 games counting the play. That's enough ball right there. I don't need to go watch the younger guys play.
So what position you play?
Mostly center field. I'll play some short if I'm needed, and I'll pitch a little bit.
Oh.
Okay. So you throwing 70 miles per hour?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Mostly junk.
But it works.
it works. Hey,
Sometimes it works.
whenever, you know.
You're doing what you can. You might surprise yourself. I mean, I might be 70 pitching, but still the hitters, they got some 60, 70-year-old hitters. I ain't as quick as it used to be, so I don't have to throw 70. I can throw 50 if maybe they can't hit it.
I just wanted to know the speed that he was throwing, you know.
Now, you get down in like on our 30, 38 and over, 40 and over, those guys are throwing harder, maybe in the 70s. And I know that younger league I talked about, the CABL, those guys are throwing in the 80s. Yeah.
That was back in the day.
That was way back in the day. Yeah. The one thing I will mention that's different about our league, I mean, we watch Major League Baseball. There's just so little contact. There's way too much striking out. We put the ball in play. In Major League Baseball, the pitching is just so dominant. Not so much at our age. So the hitters really dominate. Most of these guys played high school ball. If you played college ball, they can hit. So the ball's in play. So it's really more about defense, actually, than anything else. Defense, especially as in like the 60 and the 65s, defense will cost you. You start giving teams 4 or 5 outs an inning, kill you.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. That defense is, and that's the game that we prefer to watch today. One that's putting the ball into play.
Right.
You really don't want to go sit in the stadium when it's 1-0. You want to put the ball in play. Hey, the game was 6-5. There's offense and the ball is moving. That's what you want to see, and that's what we pay to see. So that's a great game to be able to watch that. I would love to come see the games. What do you guys play at?
Yeah.
All over. So it's a Cincinnati-Dayton League. So we're as far north as Bellbrook High School. We have a couple fields in Centerville, Schoolhouse Park and Oak Grove Park. Not this year, but the year before we played at Springboro High School. We use both Lakotas, east and west. Ross Park down in Cincinnati, which is actually a Reds facility, beautiful turf facility. And actually about half of our games are played at a facility called Warren County Sports Park at Union Village on 741 in Lebanon. A lot of our weekday games are there. Again, great facility, 3 terrific fields. So, again, all over. Guys do have to travel. That's the only thing, because that's where the fields are.
So now when they travel to Florida, things like that, is that on the league or that's
completely separate? And not nearly everybody goes, but more and more, a lot of guys are going. It's kind of the culmination of the season, going to Florida and playing on those manicured fields. We use the Red Sox and the Twins spring training fields.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. So win or lose, it's just an experience.
It's awesome to be on that stuff. It's like, hey, I'm on the same field. The pros, that's where they work out at.
No, because my Yankees, man, we didn't do so well this year. But my Yankees field down in Tampa, I go down there and sometimes I go check out some spring games. They feel is beautiful down there, so I can just imagine what those fields look now.
To be standing on them and playing on them, manicured and perfect. They're like, whoa, this is what we need right here.
Can't blame the field for a bad hop.
Right.
You don't get bad hops.
And like you said, it's good because we older now, so it limit the injuries that you have, and you ain't gonna find no holes in the ground, and so that is awesome that they let y'all play on those type of fields. That is great.
So now the team members, the team makeup, are the guys all from Cincinnati, Dayton, or you got guys from other places too?
They're all from the area. I mean, we have guys. Our particular team has guys from Northern Kentucky, so that's a haul for them to come up to Lebanon. But no, it's Cincinnati, Dayton. You might have a couple guys from Indiana, but it's all local. And we go to Florida. We have a couple guys from Atlanta that we've gotten to know, so we pick them up. But for the most part, I'll call it an all-star Cincinnati-Dayton team with these guys from Atlanta on top.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder how did they, the guys from Atlanta, how did they learn about your team? Like your team?
I don't know. It goes way back. I don't know if we did if you can go down as what they call a free agent. So if you're like you don't have a team,
right.
A lot of these guys will then hook up with a team and get to know the guys, and then they just keep playing with them.
Okay.
So I don't know about our particular guys, but we've been playing with them for years.
Oh, that's what.
And you started this up, right?
Not the Florida thing.
No, I'm talking about your league.
I didn't start it up. No, like I said, it goes back maybe 20, 25 years, and I've been commissioner for 9, maybe playing for 15. So it was a guy named Bob Hawkins, who's actually in the Roy Hobbs Hall of Fame, and a couple other guys started it up way back when. Back when these guys were, in their 30s and maybe early 40s. And as guys have gotten older, and the core group that loves baseball really is kind of guys like, I'd say the sweet spot's in their 60s. So as we've gotten older, we've added on these older divisions. Because, for us now, for me to compete with a guy who's maybe 40 years old, especially a pitcher that's throwing, say, 75, not so much. So I
So
can
you just
play with
keep
guys my
moving
own
on.
age.
Yeah.
You just keep moving up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you can be able to keep playing.
Yeah, down in Florida, they have divisions all the way up to 80 and over. There are, I think there's last year they had like 2 or 3 80 and over teams.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
That's
I can only
amazing.
hope I'm still playing.
Still
it.
doing
hey,
it. Yeah.
yo, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you back a little bit. So you did the 1 year in high school. Is it a reason why you stopped, or just the 1 year, or
Just-
did you?
It was a lot of effort practicing every day and didn't get to play. And I mean, honestly, I was not one of the best players by any means. And I said, I don't see myself playing much if I even make the team down the road. So just play some summer ball with the guys, my friends, and have fun.
Okay.
And that was it. My focus was much more on academics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the academics you can tell with the, being at Princeton with a BS in chemical engineering, and then University of Virginia with an MS in nuclear engineering. And it was interesting when I saw that nuclear engineering because being in the Air Force, that was part of my job, doing nuclear weapons. So I was just wondering, that switch, what made you decide to go into nuclear engineering for your MS opposed to that?
I always had an interest in nuclear engineering, although at the time when I went to Virginia, the industry was starting to slow down. They weren't building new power plants. And it was not a degree in weaponry by any means. It was, reactors, nuclear reactor design.
Right.
So I knew that I wanted to get into it, and I knew I could always fall back on my chemical engineering, which is what I did when I went to P&G. Did more chemistry and engineering.
So with that nuclear side, was that more on the formulation too as well, like you do on chemical side?
No, not so much. It's just understanding how reactors work, how to design reactors and things like that.
In the reactor.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
No bombs.
You built it up, got some little formulas and working it out and building some stuff that. Oh, that's great. But it's good to see that that someone else understands that nuclear side of stuff. When I talk about it, people are like, what do you mean? Oh my God! It's like, no, it's not what you think, but it is different. So would you say move to Cincinnati in '78? Where'd you grow up at?
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's a big baseball place.
It was a big softball place when I was a really big fast-pitch softball.
Is that
place.
up there by my Penn State University?
Now, Penn State's more middle of the state. Allentown is north of, maybe like an hour and a half north of Philadelphia.
Okay,
Close
gotcha.
close to New Jersey. Close
Oh,
to the border.
okay. All right. So you're
That's
closer to
still-
me.
is that-
Yeah. Okay.
That's not. Is that where they play the Little League World Series?
That's Williamsport. That's probably north of Penn State. I'm
Okay.
trying to think middle of the state, but maybe
Okay.
a little
I
more
know they
north.
play. Okay. So you grew up there. Okay.
And then came to Cincinnati. I got recruited by P&G.
Okay.
So I moved
And
here.
you moved here. Okay. And just went to school and stayed around here. Enjoyed the area and
Been here
stayed here.
since '78. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have any kids, children?
Got 2 kids. Son who lives in Westchester near me. He's got three kids, and then my daughter lives in Florida in West Palm Beach, and she's got 2. So we have 5 grandkids.
All right. 5 grandkids.
So when we go
That's
down
all right.
to Fort Myers, we always go over to West Palm Beach and spend some time over there.
Oh, all right. So can you tell us a little bit about the Crest and the VIX? What did you have to do with that? Did you?
So I worked in product. I'm a chemical engineer, but I worked in product development and what's called process development. Process development entails formulating the product. It's really everything to do with the product. So formulating the product, figuring out how to make the product, and then transferring that knowledge to the factory, where now they're going to make it on a large scale, and we're going to make some money doing this. So and I call it my specialty. My favorite thing to do was formulation. So that's not so much engineering, that's more just kind of chemistry and the knowledge of materials, but that's what I like doing. So, for example, I worked on Crest for Kids, which is sparkles in it, and I have a patent. I'm one of the 3 people on the patent for the sparkles, what gives you the sparkle in Crest for Kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so my grandkids, funny, they use Crest for Kids, and they pull it out, they say, this is Grandpa's toothpaste, and it really is.
That's pretty cool.
Wow, it really is.
Yeah.
You're like, no, not like that tube
Wow.
belongs to me, but it really is my toothpaste.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
year did that come out?
Around 1990 or thereabouts.
And that's about Vicks too, because I thought Vicks been around.
Vicks has been around a long time. Vicks has been around. NyQuil's been around since I think the 70s. But over the years, we've added products like DayQuil, and then I worked on the original ZQuil, which is just a sleep aid.
Yep.
That was my formula. They've modified the formula since, but the original formula was mine. And then the current NyQuil, DayQuil, and NyQuil Severe, DayQuil Severe, those formulas, unless they've changed them, and I haven't known about that, they're my formulas.
All right. That is awesome.
That doesn't mean I get any money from P&G.
No.
Like, hey,
well, they compensate when you.
When I was there, I have no complaints.
Right, there you go.
Right. Salary and benefits was terrific.
That's what counts. That they took care of you, and now that they still using the product, but they took care of you. So
that's what it's all about.
The kids everywhere thank you for the sparkles and the toothpastes and the Vicks and the NyQuil and DayQuil. You know, we've all used those products, and we never thought about that. We'd be in the room sitting there talking with someone who actually created the formula.
So now I can actually say that. You know what I mean? Yes, I can actually say that now.
I know.
And that's what's so good about your grandkids, because they're always going to keep your name alive, because they're going to say, Grandpa did this, and this, and then they tell their kids. So that is awesome. Awesome.
That is amazing. Wow. Never thought about it like that. That you actually can sit down and develop those formulas and put them together like that and create that stuff. You always wonder, how did they create this toothpaste, or how did they create this mouthwash? Who did this, and what's the process? They just sit there thinking it up and writing out the chemical formulas and then testing it, and it's like, what works together and what doesn't. Oh, that don't work together. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, some ingredients aren't compatible, and you got to know that, or you figure that out pretty quickly. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Wow. So does something like that take a long time to do?
I mean, I don't know. The average project at P&G might take a year or two, unless it's something really different, really revolutionary. Like, here's an example: diapers, Pampers. I mean, that took years, and then they keep modifying it, making it better, and so forth. But you said there's a new Vicks formula coming out, a year or two, typically, depending on the complexity.
Wow.
Well, Rick, we're going to go ahead and take another short break. Gym City Sports Network. Back up in the building with Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Fred.
And I'm Coach Rick Youngblood, back in the building with our special guest that we've been talking to, Mr. Tom Huetter, and that we are grateful to have him in the building. Very interesting that, some of the stuff that he's done in life and the stories he has, and I'm sure that, he has a lot more. But to have an interesting bio like he had, and the education that he had, and then the things he's done, creating formulas and stuff that we use, everyday things that we use, for hygiene and stuff we use to take care of our bodies when we're not feeling great. Now we can put a face. I can put a face to who created this. When now it's like, wow. That's something that you never thought that you would be sitting in the room with someone like that. But it's great that to be able to sit and speak with you and understand that it's these are real people that created this stuff. Not there's some machine that they put together and they pour stuff together and like, oh, pop. No, it's a person sitting there, and now we see who does that. Yeah. It's really interesting, because I think the closest I ever got to doing that was once working in the Pepsi Coca-Cola factory back in there where they create the syrup at, and you mixing it out in the syrup room back there where they putting different stuff in and got to put just right. Like, yeah, that don't taste right. So you got to, but they all got lines and different lines to run stuff in there. So it's interesting when you get to see how that stuff is created before it comes out, and then being working in a meat packaging plant where they bring in just quarters of cows or animals, and then they take them off the truck, and then how they cut them up and process it, and the color meat is, but when you get it, it's a different color because of everything they put in it, and you're like, wow, I seen beef when it's color of this paper when it starts, but then when getting it over here, it's totally different color, but it's all the dyes. So right? It is.
Really?
It's this color. Once they first take it out of the cow, it's this color.
Huh.
Yes, it's this color, and they run it through the machines and clear it all out, and then they put these dyes and different colors in it to make it the color it is, but beef is white when it comes out.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, that was interesting, too, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't even know that either. So tell us about the Princeton days. Take you back a little bit.
Long time ago.
Yeah, take you back a little bit.
It was tough. I tell people that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. You know, come out of high school with great grades, and you go there, and you're just humbled. There are people that are a lot smarter than you, a lot better prepared for college than you, and it was just grueling. I mean, I told people I never took a day off from studying. We studied every day because we had to. Weekends, all the time. I figured maybe 4 hours a day, every day I studied on top of going to classes. And I know there were people that spent a lot more time, and they did better than I did grade-wise, but it was tough. Very tough. And chemical engineering is a tough curriculum.
It is. It is.
I bet.
Chemical engineering is very tough.
But you got through it.
I got through it. That was a big thing. It got me into graduate school, and then from graduate school to P&G. So, it's all good.
That was all good. That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
That is amazing. Wow. So, I guess my question would be, would be like someone who's trying to, kids today, what would be your lesson to tell for them that they wanting to, so somebody young kid who wanted to be a chemical or a nuclear engineer, what would be your word of advice for them?
And I guess for those kids in particular who are also playing sports, it's like, that's not the ticket. I mean, there's a chance if you're really good, you may get a college scholarship, you may play professionally, but hard to do, very competitive. Academics, just focus, study, do your homework, and then go to a good college. Again, work hard, and then employers will notice you.
Wow. So I know that when my daughter went off to college, and she went before she was playing basketball, and she was recruited, she was going to play at Toledo, and they asked her what she wanted to be, and she said she wanted to be a doctor. And the coach told her, I don't think that's going to work, because you can't do that both here, because athletics at this Division I requires a lot of your time, and you're just not going to have time to do both. And I had never heard that before. I'm looking like,
I'm surprised he was that honest, but it's good that he was. I mean, a D1 athlete, they own. I mean, say they own you. That sounds very negative, but they do.
They do.
I mean, that's got to be your focus, and they'll help you with the studies and so forth. But no, it's all about playing ball.
Yes, and I just thought that was like something that she was saying to her. But when she got to Kentucky, she didn't play. She went to Kentucky, and she was friends with a lot of guys on the Kentucky football team, and she was friends with them and talked to them, and a lot of them came in and they wanted to be engineers and different stuff, and the coach told them, you got to change your major, because you're not going to make it with this, because we're going to require so much of your time that you ain't going to have time to study like you need to, because we're going to be practicing, we're going to be working out, we're going to be traveling, and you just going to be missing. So, but so that was interesting, but that was the thing that was, so it's like you have to understand that you say you're a student athlete, but really when you get to D1, you're not a student athlete. Like you're athlete first, because it's required, because it's the coach's job.
Yep.
He's there to build these teams, and
win.
So he's there to win. So he needs you there 100% of the time.
Yeah, but I understand that. But how do they get their education? If they ain't going to the pros, he should know if they're going to the pros or not going to the pros or making it to that next level. So they just want you to change your major, go be a gym teacher, or get you through football. You know what I mean?
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. Wow.
No.
Wow.
They don't care.
It's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So you have to figure out, something that's not as demanding, like maybe in business, or business management or something like that. That's not as demanding, or being an educator, being a teacher or something that's not as demanding as being, say, a doctor or being an engineer, or being something like that. That takes a lot of time, a lot of studies, So yeah, it's how it works. And I had never heard it until she went through it, and I'm like, really? But they would tell you, because this is what I do. So if that's going to be your major, you might want to change it, or because they're going to require so much.
Yeah, but that, you know what, that is kind of interesting, because I know a lot of people that played Division I football and things like that, and then when they graduated, they went into like enterprise and the rental cars or the business management part. And I like, you just went to a top school, and it was like, yeah, so this is your job now, or like major. So now I get what you're talking about. How okay, go get this little major so you can have something to fall back on. Okay, all right.
That's basically how it works. So yeah, that's would be the advice, like you said, to to just you got to focus on one, especially if you want to you're gonna get a scholarship and you're gonna go. I always wonder what the athletes are like at Princeton and Harvard and Yale. What are those athletes like? Because they got D1 programs. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what's it like for those athletes there, and knowing that study regimen is tough.
Very tough. And I think most of those kids know they're never going to play professionally.
Okay.
And they're not D1, call it D1, but they're not Alabama, say, football material. They're not as big. They're not as fast, so forth. But they're smart kids. They know, I got to get an education. Oh, by the way, I get to play. And I can be, at that level, I can be a pretty decent player. I'm going to Alabama. I might be sitting on the bench the whole time.
Right.
So for those kids, it works out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got Yoshavash for the Bengals, wide receiver. He's a Princeton guy.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
But there are very few Ivy Leaguers in the pros.
But I guess it's demanding, so that would be twice the demand. The man in the classroom and of being at Princeton and the demand on the field, that would be probably almost impossible if it was that way. So
I know that some of the basketball players at Princeton, they typically play Friday and Saturday nights, and so you have an away weekend where you might play like Dartmouth and Cornell away. They all take their books on the bus. They're studying the whole time. You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
you can't fall behind.
No, you're right. You're right.
No, you can't fall behind. Not in the institution, any of them. You can't fall behind, especially not those that are super, super competitive like that. Where, like you say, you get a really smart kid. You're in the top of your class in high school, and then you go off to Princeton's, Yale, and these Ivy Leagues, and everybody's smart.
Yeah.
Everybody. It ain't like everybody's smart. Right. So you're like, whoa. I thought I was smart, but I got kids way up here that are super smart, and it's like everybody is smart. Just like I watched the Alabama years ago when they had a documentary back when Derrick Henry was playing there, and he's like, I was the top kid in high school. I was top kid in the nation, and then I went to Alabama, and it was 5 guys just like me. So I was on the bench. I was deep on the bench, and you're like, what?
Derrick Henry.
It's like 5 or 6 guys. They're just like you, just as good as you. So you're like on the bench. So he I got humbled real quick. So it's like, wow. So I can imagine going to Princeton and Yale and stuff like that, being a smart kid and getting humbled like that. Wow, everybody here is smart. So that takes something for a young kid to be able to be humble like that and get through it, because it will break a lot of people like that.
Yep.
Especially athletes, and then men actually in the classroom too will break someone like that that's not used to being third or 20th alone.
Not used to getting B's and C's.
Got
all A's in high school. What's this?
What do you mean I got a C?
And the parents say, what's wrong? What are you doing?
Wait a minute. She's never had a C in her life. She's never had a B. Now she got a C. Yeah. It's humble.
Yeah, it's humble.
Wow. That's amazing that you got through that and was able to understand that the rigors of that and be humbled and take care of it and understanding that I need to study all the time.
Right.
And that's something that
I'm not even thinking about sports.
Don't even
ask me to play no baseball.
And that's wonderful that
strictly these books.
To be able to give that lesson to kids who want to get into it. That you got to study. A lot of kids don't understand it. Athletes that come from different places. I've seen great athletes go places, and they come from high schools where the demands on the classroom is not that big, and then they go off to these huge schools. And then they can't stay there because the education, and like I said, it stands there. And then when they get to college, these big colleges, and that demand of their time from the coach, you don't have time for this. And so they ain't great students anyway. So now they really get behind. And once you get behind, if you can't be eligible, he can't use you.
That's right.
See, I can't use you. You're ineligible. Mm-hmm. So it's just, sometimes you have to humble yourself and understand it's like, I'm a great athlete, but I ain't that great in the books. Maybe I need to go D2.
Exactly.
So that way I can play and keep up. And maybe after I get it together for a few years, then move up and go to transfer to 3-1. But it's a lesson to be able. People should adhere to the lesson that you said. You got to understand the rigors of it, and I don't think a lot of coaches, when they recruit, they don't tell them that.
Well, of course not.
They don't tell them that. I just want that athlete. They don't tell them what the rigors of it, how much of your time I'm going to demand. And he'll never tell you, it's like, okay, well, what about my books, coach? Okay, what about them? You got to figure that out.
You've got tutors that can help you with that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for that, though.
Yeah, well, let's get back into some of this baseball. So, what's the secret? What is the quality of the baseball that you guys do and things?
I mean, it's good. Like I said, most guys have played high school.
Okay.
A few have played college. I don't know that we have anybody that played pro. We did have a couple of guys that actually one guy used to play for the Reds way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think there's any pro players anymore. So the quality of ball is good. I think the 50s guys, that's our sweet spot. We have 9 teams. Those guys are good.
Wow.
Like, really good. And then the 60s. We started the 60s about 3 or 4 years ago. Immediately had 6 teams. And again, in the 60s, there are some ex-college players, some pitchers, and these guys can throw. They do pretty darn well.
Well, that is awesome. Because I would like for you to at least send us your schedule.
Okay.
When your season starts, so we can at least put it on our webpage. And we hope that we get a lot of listeners this time, because it is very interesting, because like I said, I didn't know until Doug Brown told me about this league, and I was very interested. So I got to meet Mr. Tom. I got to know what's going on. But you brought a whole lot of other stuff to the table that I think people should know about. So
Right.
I appreciate you, man. I really do.
I will tell people if they're listening, if you want to play, we have a website, and the easiest way to get to it is just Google Miami Valley Roy Hobbs, and what will come up, first item is called League Lineup. That's our website. Get on there, and on the welcome page, there's a link to a questionnaire. So we ask anybody who's interested, fill out the questionnaire, submit it. It comes to me. And then in January, I'll take all the questionnaires and we figure out how to get guys a tryout with various teams. We'll do a draft, or we'll have a tryout or something like that to give everybody an opportunity to play on a team. Not to say that everybody will. I mean, it's a competitive league.
So that's what I was getting ready to say. So if they do come to the tryout and they don't make it, y'all tell them, this is not for you.
Yeah, because it's not good for that person if they make a team but they rarely play. I mean, the coaches are good about getting guys in, but they might not play a lot, maybe get one at bat, because you're trying to win.
Oh, okay.
And then from a coach's standpoint, they got a guy now who's not very talented, and it's like, I got to take at-bats away from some of my better guys to give to them, and so you got all that going on. So we try to be really honest with guys. We can guarantee you a tryout, and beyond that, it's up to the coach if he wants to keep you or not.
That is.
How many players are usually on a team?
A roster might have 20, but on any given night, there might be like 12 to 15 guys. There, people have work commitments, family commitments. Guys get hurt and things like that.
Oh wow!
A lot of joint replacements as you get up into the 60s. Guys have had knees replaced, shoulders replaced.
I know. My old football
But they're still
days.
playing.
I know
But
what you mean? Yeah.
That's interesting that you talk about the tryouts, because people don't have real tryouts anymore. Even especially in the high school area. Back when I played high school basketball, football, baseball, they had tryouts and you got cut.
Yeah.
You got cut.
Yeah.
But today they don't do that anymore in high school.
Just keep everybody.
You just keep everybody that comes out. You keep. I was like, I've never heard that. So
What, high school ball now?
yeah, they don't cut.
Well, you're right.
They don't cut
Coach of
anybody.
Beaver Creek, yeah,
They don't
right.
cut. Everybody shows up. They
Had a 53-man roster.
They don't cut, and so they don't. They say trials, but they don't have true tryouts, because when my son was playing high school football, and then the guys playing in front of him, he was a freshman and they were juniors. He was much better than they were, but he wasn't playing because you go to practice and it wasn't a tryout. Those guys they were the oldest, so they just played. So it's like when they come to practice and you wonder why they didn't really give no effort, because you didn't give them, there was no motivation for them. It's like, I'm going to play regardless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So because they didn't cut, so it's like, I never heard that before, that you don't cut. That's the motivation. Like, if you want to play on this squad, you're going to have to make the team. You don't just sign up and show up. But,
Right.
yeah, so that was interesting that when you said that they actually have guys, you guarantee a tryout, but I'm not saying you're going to make it and actually go with that. It's like, okay, you came out, but you just didn't.
Yeah, have you ever played baseball before?
Right, that's what I was getting ready to say. So in my mind is that before they even go to the webpage and wanting to sign up, you got to have some type of skill. You know what I mean? And it is not a lot of 65 to 70-year-olds that say, "Oh, let me go and let me try for this baseball
No.
team."
And
So you have to have that in your blood all the way up.
Right. And I mean, like I said, most guys have played high school. I played one year. I didn't play 1 year, but I kept in shape. I played softball and so forth, and so that worked for me. But most of the guys have played. You have very few guys that say, "Well, I haven't played since Little League."
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Especially if you're 60, and it's like you better be in really good shape
Right.
to even be able to compete out there.
Yeah, to be able to compete and catch and swing the bat.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
It's a lot, like I said, and
It's a
then,
lot.
like you say, 7 games before you get to the championship and 1 and out, and that's a lot of baseball.
but yeah, you gotta get
Throwing
through
the ball.
You gotta get through the season first.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Gotta
So
get
that
through
means you
the
got to go
season.
through your season, then go to Florida, then pay that week. That's a lot. Like you said, what 20 to 25 games you play?
15, but I play in 2 teams, so we're playing.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that's right. That's when you said
Yeah.
a little bit more.
with
Wow.
plus tournaments and so forth. Yeah, the hard part right now for us since the season's over is staying in shape for Florida. So we have like a month in between. So
Wow.
we're practicing. We're going to batting cages. I'm out there running at least 3 or 4 times a week. Got to keep the legs in shape because that's the thing that goes first.
Yes.
We get down there and you don't want to be pulling a hamstring day one, and you might as well just go sit on the beach the rest of the week. You paid your money, but you're not playing.
Right.
Yeah, you're not playing the hamster. Yeah, you're not playing the hammy gone. You can forget it. Go out to walk the beach for a week.
Right.
But hey, that's great that you get to stay in shape now and get to do that, and now getting ready for Florida. So good luck down there, and
Thank you.
you know, down
luck.
there, and have a great time and enjoy the game, which you always do. But you know, and hopefully you guys might be able, think you guys will win it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, have you ever won it?
Yes, we
Okay.
wanted. I mean, they have different levels. So
Levels,
there's like
I'm
a 4A, a quad A,
Okay.
a triple A. So after
Okay.
you played during the week, they seed you, and then you
And
go
go
into
into
a
that.
level. We've won it, I think, 3 times.
Okay.
Class, I think we won single A, we won a double A. I can't remember what the third was. And one year we got to the finals in triple A. We'd never been to quad A. But quad A, that's like all college players or minor league players. Those guys are good.
Oh.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So when they seat you down there, I know they seat you by your play, but do they seat you by age down there too?
No, so we're going in the 70 and over
Okay.
division. So
Okay.
that's set.
Okay.
And they'll seed us based since most teams go every year. They'll seed us based on how we did last year. So
Okay.
this year,
Okay.
well, I know we already got our schedule, so we're seated I think in AAA, but we're playing 2 quad A teams the first 2 days, so that could get ugly fast.
Wow.
Now, what is the oldest player that you have out there?
On our team, a guy that's I think he's like 73, 74, something like that. A doctor.
I'll take my hat. I'll
doctor.
take my hat off to him.
Doctor. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'll take my hat off to him. That is awesome. But we're going to wrap up a little bit here. But before we go, can you give us some encouragement words out there for our youth? And just give us a little something for them.
Like I said, it's all about academics. You can't ever assume you're going to make a dime playing sports. So play the game because you love the game. And if you're good and you work at it, maybe you get a chance to play at the next level. But don't assume that. I mean, that's a very elite group that ever makes a dime or even getting a good college scholarship out of playing sports. It's like focus in that. You can be a good engineer, a doctor, whatever, and do really well in life financially.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it.
Tom the Legend, thank you for coming through.
Yes,
We
thank you,
really-
Thanks for having
thank
me,
you.
guys.
All right, we'd like to hang out for one more minute. We always end the show with Ricky, asking Coach Ricky some questions, but we don't have no questions today. So just give us something to give some kids some some happiness, something.
Well,
know.
the legend has said it all.
Okay. We wanna leave it at that.
He said it all. That what's important is academics. I always tell the kids, get your academics. Get your degrees, get all of that because that's something they can never take from you. You get degreed up. Nobody can ever say, "Hey, I got my bachelor's degree." They can't never say you don't. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
I already have it. They can't take it from you. Like I said, don't ever assume that you're going to be a pro athlete. Don't assume. Play for the love of the game. Play for the love of the game because if you think about how many high school athletes you have and how many college teams there are, how many college athletes are there, and then see it's very few pro teams, and those rosters don't roll over every year. So how many people get drafted? 100 or 200 out of thousands and thousands? So that's very small. So don't assume that that's going to be my life. I'm going to be a pro athlete. If you love it, then you love it. Work hard at it. But understand that at some point, athletics end. Doesn't matter if you make the pros. At some point, even when you make the pros, when you get in your 30s, that's over.
You're right.
So you got to have something else to do once that's over, even if you don't make it. So I tell kids, just study hard. Get your academics. Get your academics first. Always want to be a student athlete. Do that first. If you want to get to college and you're in college, trust to get there on your academics. And even if you get a scholarship, do your academics first. Then you worry about your sport because, like I said, you might not go pro. And then if you just, if all your eggs are in that basket, now you don't have a basket when that's over. Or you don't make it. And you understand you get humbled because everybody in the pros are elite. They're there for a reason. That's an elite group that gets there. Not everybody gets there. So want our kids to just continue to work hard and understand that you can do what you want to do when you put your mind to it, but get educated. Stay educated. Educated up is what I call it. Be educated up all the time at all levels, and don't just settle for just being in the middle of the pack in high school, college, wherever. Work to be the best and the top of the pack. Do whatever you have to do to be the best. Don't just be mediocre because that doesn't get you anywhere. Right. Everybody can be mediocre. Anybody can be mediocre, but it takes time, it takes work, it takes dedication to be the best. And I'm talking about in the classroom. It takes studying to be the best. When others are not studying, you are. When you're studying 5 hours, there might be somebody studying 7. But you're doing your part to work hard and always being the best and wants to be the best. And if you do that, you can attain any goal you want to. You can be anything you want to be. Being a profession off the court is just as good as being a professional on the court. Yep. You have a great life, great job, and you end up helping someone in ways you never imagined. So just education is the key, what I would say for all of you guys. Education is the key for you youngsters out there. Stay in school. Come to school. Listen to your teachers, and you will definitely benefit. You might not see it now because you're listening to your little friends telling you, oh, you don't need that. You don't need school. What's that going to do for you? What's biology going to do for you when you're out here in the streets? I don't want to be in the streets. Tell them you don't want to be in the streets. You got to learn how to just do that. Study. Let nobody get you off the court, off that course of being the best student athlete that you can be.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I think thanks, Coach, for that. That was I hope somebody grabbed that. You know what I'm saying? But we like to let you guys know that we have a merch out there to support Coach's Corner and our Ohio Valley Elite Football Club. So you can go purchase our shirts at www.ohiovalleyelite.com. And like we always say, peace, love, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We out.
We out.